For the last couple of years I have used Cloudways Hosting and A2 Hosting as my primary hosting providers, but today I'm gonna cancel both of them and move to the Verpex Hosting, and in this video I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Now before you dive in, I have to explain though that both Cloudways and A2 hostings are really good, but for my needs Verpex Hosting is a bit better, and hence the video. Now before I dive deep in a comparison between the two hosting companies, I have to explain which led me to this move, and here's an explanation. So my daily job is to develop the websites to my customers, and that means at any given time I have 5 to 10 projects going on. Also, I myself have 5 different websites. Some of them are bigger ones, some of them are smaller ones, and therefore a couple of years ago I needed a reliable web hosting company that would run my sites fast and without any issues. So I chose Cloudways, and as you see I have 5 sites here. 3 of them are really small with approximately 1 to 2,000 page views per month. My main site, WP Simple Hacks, has approximately 20,000 page views per month. And since I have this package here, which has a 1 GB of RAM, it started getting a bit too small for me. Once again, 5 small sites, but there was not enough resources for me. And as you see from my 2 support tickets I have opened with them, I started having error establishing a database connection every day. By every day I mean every time I went to one of my sites and, for example, if I published a post, error establishing a database connection appeared. And what they told me was that the memory limit was too low, and they recommend to scale up my server at least 2 GB because 1 GB is not recommended for production applications. They recommended me this package here. But this one is $26 with 2 GB. And this led me to the conclusion that I should take a look at another options. One more thing. While using Cloudways, I also used a A2 hosting because those 5 sites here were my main sites, but I also needed a space for my customers' websites. I needed to use those as a production websites. And that means I used a A2 hosting. I used this TurboMax package here, paid up front for 1 year. It's $16.99 per year, and as you see it already adds up. 16 for this one and 13 for this one. It's already almost $30 a month. Now if I didn't mention already, I am a freelancer. That means I would like to keep my monthly costs as low as possible, and this led me to the conclusion that I would have to find another solution that allows me to keep all my sites in one server without any performance issues. I started to look up here and there, consider this and that, and what did I like first with the Verpex hosting was that it's a cloud hosting. It's not a shared hosting, it's a cloud hosting that is using reliable providers only. For example, A2 hosting package I used is not a cloud hosting, it's a regular shared hosting. So, Verpex is fully managed cloud hosting. It has lots of details about the technology they use. They have servers in every continent. You can choose what server to use. They have everything you need for the site. And since I really like the cPanel solution, it already started to impress me. One more thing, if you're a beginner, then they will migrate all the sites for you. Although they provide it for free, I didn't need this service because I can do it by myself, but for the beginners it's a really good feature. So here are the packages of the Verpex hosting. For $5 a month, you will have a 1 website package. This was not good for me. For $6 a month, you will get the 1 website package with a unlimited bandwidth. This one here is a 10 GB bandwidth limit. For $10 a month, you will get a 5 websites package, and for $15 a month, you will get the 10 websites package. Well, this one wasn't good for me, therefore I took a look at the reseller packages. Because for the reseller packages, the first package seemed to be okay for me because it has 50 GB of disk space, 15 cPanel accounts, 2 GB of RAM, Lightspeed web server, and so on. And it's for $18 a month. Pay attention that this price here and here and here is only for the first month. But if I choose a yearly payment option, then I will save 20%. Now pay attention that there are also other packages for 50 cPanel accounts, and the ultimate reseller also with 50 cPanel accounts with unlimited SSD disk space. This package has 250 gigabytes disk space, this one has 50 gigabytes. And 15 cPanel accounts means I have 2 gigabytes of RAM per cPanel. Pay attention that this one here has 1 gigabyte, this one here is 2 gigabytes, but 2 gigabytes for the all accounts. Here I can create 15 cPanel accounts. Every cPanel accounts can have unlimited bandwidth, unlimited websites, and altogether it has 50 gigabytes of disk space, which is more than enough for me. Also, it has a light speed web server, cPanel, malware protection, automatic backups, and so on. I started Googling because I didn't know anything about the Verpex hosting, and what did I find was that they started offering their services at 2018, but if I took a look at the Trustpilot, then Trustpilot has 4.6 rating for them, raving reviews here. If I took a look at the host advice, they have even better average, it's 4.9. So I decided to give it a go, but before I did that, I took a look at what they are offering here. Now pay attention that this one here is fully managed web host. What is the difference between managed and shared web host? Because the A2 hosting I used before was a shared web host. So the main difference between them is that shared hosting is a type of hosting plan where your sites share the resources with other sites on the same server. But the managed hosting is a set of added services and performance tweaks that sits on top of regular hosting. Also, managed hosting takes care of the backups and all sorts of stuff without you needing to tweak or hassle with them. Long story short, I decided that for the $14.99 I will get much more than for the $26 here and $16 here. That would be $42, but it's 3 times less here. I can have 15 cPanel accounts, 50 gigabytes of SSD disk space, 2 gigabytes RAM per cPanel, unlimited sites, and one more thing, if you're using shared hosting, then you probably know that they have a inode limit. And what's inode limit? That's basically how many files you can keep on your server. And my A2 hosting had a 600,000 files, that means inode limit. It's approximately 20 WordPress sites. It depends how big the sites are, how many plugins do you install, and so on. The more plugins you install, the more files you use. At one point, A2 hosting sent me an email that most of my inode limits has been used. I would have to delete some of my sites, but Verpex doesn't have any inode limits. As long as you have disk space, use unlimited sites. But there is always one thing I need to be really good, and this is a support system. Therefore, I decided to give it a go and test their chat box. And I asked a bunch of questions from them. And as you see, I got really fast answers. Also, I saw that they have a 45 days money back guarantee. And that means I decided to give it a go and sign up for the account. Signing up is really easy. I chose the reseller package here. Click start now. You will be redirected to the next page. And here you would have to decide whether to choose this or that package. I decided to pay triannually because it will give me the biggest save. Next one, I chose my server location. As you see, there are a bunch of server locations here. I chose Central Europe. And since I already had a domain, I didn't need to register anything. I just use this one here. For the sake of the example, I will enter some random domain name here. Now I'm gonna add it to the basket, continue to the basket, and just register your account here. Now pay attention. If you sign up, then you will get a 20% discount from the Verpex itself, but if you take a look at the description of this video, there is a 22% discount coupon for you. Just use the link, add the coupon, and you will get even the bigger discount here. Pay attention that the discounted price is only for the selected period. At the moment I have 3-year package here. If you chose 1-year package, then the discount is only for the 1 year. If there is a time for the renewal, then you will renew with the full price, as with all the hosting companies. Nevertheless, 22% discount is waiting for you. If you sign up, then they will send you an email. The account will be created, and then next thing you would have to do is to log in, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up your website comparing with the Cloudways here. And this is what you will see after logging in. I'm going to open up my services. Next one, I'm going to log into cPanel, and there are a bunch of cool stuff I can do here. Once again, since I have a reseller package here, I can create accounts for my customers if needed, or for every of my sites. Currently I have set up 5 cPanel accounts here. Altogether I have created approximately 10 websites. Some of the accounts have only 1 site installed, some of them have 5 or 6 installed. But if you would like to create another cPanel, just click on create new account, set the domain image, username. You can set the limits here, how many parked domains or add-on domains or bandwidth limits. You can even resell it to your customers if needed. I'm not going to do that at the moment, therefore I'm going to open up this one here. And as you see, this one is a well-known cPanel. If you're familiar with it, then it's really easy to use. On the right here you can see the account statistics. For example, I have 2 gigabytes of memory usage available. At the moment I have 5% of it used. There is a disk usage, entry processes, MySQL disk usage, number of processes and so on, bandwidth, aliases and so on. You can even take a look at the CPU usage at the moment. So let's create a new site really fast. I'm gonna click on domains. I'm gonna create a new domain. For example, my wpsimpletuts.com. I'm gonna submit it. Now it's gonna take a couple of minutes because it's gonna create a SSL certificate for you and will propagate the name server names. But if it's done, then go to the WordPress toolkit, click on install, search for the site, for example this one here, choose your username and password and click install. Then it's gonna take another minute or 2 to create the site for you. Here you can see all the websites you have installed. You can log in, see the issues they have. For example, this one here, as you see, search engine indexing is disabled and it contains outdated themes. I can quickly take a look what's happening and fix them. I can log in, and once again, really easy to use. Now let's take a look at the Cloudways. With the Cloudways you have applications. You will create a new application, and if it's created, then you have to create a SSL certificate. But as you see, the site names are made with numbers and long words. I would need to point out my name servers. I would have to tweak it here or there, much more complicated. One more thing, if you haven't used Cloudways, then Cloudways doesn't have a email server. So you will get the web hosting, but for the emails you would need to use another service. And this is the reason I also used A2 Hosting. I used their service as the storage space for my emails. And setting it up is a bit difficult. You would have to mess with the name servers and so on. But with the cPanel it's really easy. I'm gonna open up the email accounts, create an email, fill the fields, create, and it's done with a couple of clicks. Also, I have a daily backups here. The Jet Backup is a service that runs automatically. There are my full backups. Let's take a look what's happening here. As you see, this one here, I can restore it if needed. Just click on it, restore. It makes 2 backups per day, and I can even select files I need to be restored. If I need only this file to be restored, I just select it, click on restore, and it's done. I can restore databases, users, and so on. Really simple. It's done automatically without me needing to do anything. Now probably you would like to ask, okay, but what about the speed? Well, let's test it up. As you see, this one here is my site that is in a Cloudways server, and this one here is the same site on my Verpex server. Just to compare them as fairly as I could, I deactivated all the ads and stuff. So all the activated plugins here are the same that are here in this site. I deactivated all the cache and other speed up options. And now let's use a GTmetrix here. London server, analyze, and let's take this one here. Also London server, let's analyze. And let's wait for the results here. And here are the results. This one here, as you see, is for the Cloudways. Performance 95%, time to first byte is 625 milliseconds, largest contentful paint is 1.2 seconds. And now let's take a look at the Verpex. And as you see, the scores are a bit better. 97% time to first byte is shorter, and the largest contentful paint is also shorter. Now let's take a look at another site I have here. For example, let's take a look at this one here. I'm going to open it up. And the same site with Verpex. As you see, the same sites, but in a different server. So once again, I'm going to open up GTmetrix. Let's analyze this one here. And this one here. As you see, this one here is for the Cloudways. Performance 97%, time to first byte 491 milliseconds, largest contentful paint 1 second. And this one here is for the Verpex, 97%, largest contentful paint 1.1 second, time to first byte is a bit shorter, that means 389 milliseconds. Let's make a last one. So I'm going to open up this one here. And this one. So let's compare. And start. Now here are the results. As you see, for the Cloudways apps, the performance for this site is 68%. Time to first byte is 1.3 seconds. If I open up the Verpex, then somehow this shows much better scores. Performance 98%, largest contentful paint 800 milliseconds. Time to first byte is 82 milliseconds. Whereas this one here has 1.3 seconds, and largest contentful paint is 2.0 seconds. As I said, those are the cloned sites, everything is the same. I don't know why this one here is so slow. I'm gonna retest it and see what's happening here, what's happening with a second test. The second test is a bit better, but nevertheless 2.1 second largest contentful paint and 1.3 second for the time to first byte, so much lower than the Verpex here. These were the speed tests for the front end. Let's test the back end now. Now I'm logged in. As you see, this one here is Cloudways site, and this one here is site that is on Verpex. I'm gonna open up posts, all posts, and open up the Performance Analyzer Chrome extension. As you see, 1.4 second was the loading time, 76 requests. And let's take a look at the same site in Cloudways server. All posts. Performance analyzer says 2 seconds loading time, 77 requests. I don't know why there is one more request here. Let's test it one more time. 2.6 seconds. Let's test it one more time in Verpex server. 1.3 seconds, so much faster. Another site, let's take a look at all posts in Cloudways server. 1.6 seconds, 69 requests. And in Verpex server, the same site, 1.3 seconds and 70 requests. Let's refresh and do another test. 1 second for Verpex and 1.8 seconds for Cloudways. Once again, I used this Chrome extension here. You can use it also for testing your website speed. 1.2 seconds for Cloudways app here. And if I open up this one, that is in Verpex server, then it's 1.1 seconds. So this concludes the speed part, but as I said before, there is also a support that is very important to me. Therefore, I opened up a random support ticket where I asked about the Immunify 360 setup, and I got the response within 7 minutes. Once more, I opened up my ticket and I got a response after 7 minutes. Awesome. I also opened up another ticket, and this time it took approximately 90 minutes to get the response. So the support has been so far really good for me. So long story short, Verpex offers much more with a less price. The speed is the same with the Cloudways, or even better, as you saw, at least for my sites. I haven't seen any issues so far. Setup is easy. Using cPanel is also easy. Support is awesome. And this leads me to the only one conclusion. That means I have to cancel my Cloudways subscription. And in order to close my account, first I need to delete my server. I'm gonna type delete here. So it's deleted. Now I'm gonna open up my account and I'm gonna agree with the above conditions, and I'm gonna click on cancel my account. I'm gonna give them an explanation. Cost is too high. Yes, cancel my account. And your request for account cancellation has been scheduled. They will send me an invoice in the first week of the next month. This is for the services I have used this month, and it's done. So these were my reasons why I moved from the Cloudways and the A2 hosting to the Verpex hosting. But pay attention that I don't say that these are bad services. No, they are really good services, but for my needs currently Verpex hosting is a bit better. If you didn't pay attention, then in the description of this video there is a link to the Verpex hosting. Take a look at it, and there is also a 22% discount coupon for you. Now, if you find this video helpful, then press thumbs up. If you haven't already, then subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Meanwhile, take care.